Welcome to another episode of Mexican in the Kitchen. I have around 35-40 grams of these Thai dried chilies. You can hear all those seeds inside. We're gonna break them, try to wrap them a bit to get as many seeds as we can. This is of course an optional step. You can do the same sauce with the seeds. I just personally prefer to remove them. Once we're done with the seeds, we can start preparing our garlic, and basically I just sliced up 4 garlic cloves. It doesn't have to be perfect slices. Try to make them a bit even because they will cook more evenly. Basically with these two things ready, our preparation is done. So I have this pan here. It's on a 3 or 4 out of 6. I have some canola oil in there, and we're just gonna throw our garlic in. We're doing this garlic first because we don't want any ingredient to get burned. If some ingredients get burnt, then our sauce will get this bitter taste, and we don't want that. I'm just gonna cook the garlic until it starts getting brown, this really nice golden color. Once garlic starts getting to that point, I'm gonna take it out. And I'm just putting all the ingredients I'm taking away into a bowl. I'll just reserve it for later. It doesn't matter if you take some oil with you. It doesn't matter if you take a piece of garlic that is not completely brown. We just want it to get cooked, get a bit crispy, get this nice flavor. This will bring a lot of flavor into our sauce. So just make sure you don't burn any of the garlics. If you notice a piece of garlic is burnt, it's also not a problem just to remove that. Once we removed our garlic, we're gonna throw our chilies in. And here, we're gonna have a really quick process. You will notice the chilies start getting brown, dark, really black very quickly. We don't want the chilies to get completely black, because that means they're overcooked and they're getting a bit burned, which will bring bitterness. So just try to make sure it's almost there, not quite. You will notice the texture is a bit crispy. The smell here is amazing. If the chilies are way too spicy and you're not used to it, this might make you cough a bit. So try to have windows open, some air flowing on the room. Just reserve the chilies into the same bowl as the garlic. We're waiting for it to cool down a bit. I have this cup for my blender that is supposed to be for grinding coffee, but I don't do that, so I use this for sauces. And I'm using it to make some powder out of these salted peanuts. Basically I'm using maybe 5-6 tablespoons. I'm having a couple goes with the blender. It doesn't matter if you have chunks. It doesn't matter if it's uneven. I just want to get this like small, not even powder, just chunks of peanuts. If you don't have a blender, you can always use a knife. Just chop them into small pieces. This is up to what you like and what you prefer for this sauce. Basically I got this peanut powder, and you can see it has chunks. There's like smaller pieces, larger pieces, there's some powder. And I'm completing this bowl with a couple tablespoons of sesame seeds. You can use 2 or 3 tablespoons. Just mix everything. This is basically the kind of nuts and seeds I like in this sauce. Of course you can do whatever you prefer. Right now the garlic and chilies and some of the oil we collected when removing them have cooled down a bit, so it's safe to put them in the blender. You can also do this kind of process just with a knife. If you don't have a blender, you can use an immersion blender, you can use a normal blender, a food processor. Basically you can do it whatever you have. It doesn't have to be completely blend. If you have chunks of it, it's also good. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of versions of this kind of sauce, so it's up to what you like. Again, this is what I prefer. I like to make it into a paste. and you will see what happens when we blend. With the peanuts I had a couple goes. With this one I think I'll leave it for about a minute or so. I want the chilies to really blend, make a paste kind of thing. There's some oil, there's the garlic, there's not much water in there, so it won't become a liquid sauce. It's basically this paste. It's really thick, but I want all the larger chunks to be blend. I make it as soft as possible. Now we're back to our pan, and this pan has a bit more oil now. I just completed with an extra dash, but it's basically the same oil we use for the chilies. It's warmed up. It's on a 3 out of 6. I don't want it to be too hot. And we're just putting some of that peanut and sesame seed mix we had before. Now we're gonna just add our paste. This paste we made with the chilies and the garlic. It might not look like it's a lot, but these chilies are really spicy. The garlic and chili combination has a lot of flavor, so it's gonna be enough for our sauce. Once we added the paste, we're just gonna season, and for that I'm just using some salt. Just use as much salt as you want. Now we can start mixing our sauce. Basically keeping an eye on the temperature. We don't want our sauce to start boiling or for it to be on a really high flame. We have it on a medium fire. We just want to mix everything, get all those ingredients together. You will notice that the oil starts getting this really nice color, and you might notice also that our sauce looks like a bit too liquid by now, and that is because this is a point where we are gonna decide how thick our sauce is gonna be. Basically, I'm just gonna start adding our seeds, these nuts and sesame seed mix, or whatever mix you decided to use. We're gonna start adding and mixing until we achieve the consistency we like. I've added now most of the mix I made. I think it has a nice consistency. You will notice the heat is causing this foam to come up. It's perfectly normal. It will go away when our sauce cools down. And we're just gonna move from time to time, keep an eye on it, just let it cook for a couple more minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes. And once the time is up, our sauce is ready and we can put it in a bowl or wherever we want to store it. You can put it into jar. But basically we'll put it there and we'll just let it cool down for a while. This is how our sauce looks like once it's ready. You will notice that very oily consistency, all the seeds in there, the chili, it has a lovely color. The smell is amazing and I can't wait to taste this. I really like this sauce because it's very simple to make. It's very easy. It doesn't have many ingredients. It's ingredients that you can find almost everywhere. They're very cheap. You can use chile de árbol if you find some. You can use these Thai dried chilies if you find those. They're usually not super expensive. Garlic, peanuts. You can use any other seeds you want. You can use pumpkin seeds. Some people even use some raisins or cranberries, these dried cranberries. You can basically do any kind of nut mix you want and add it to the sauce. They're really nice. Some people like to maybe toast those a bit more. I think it's enough if you cook them with the oil and the sauce. But they're really nice. You can have them on anything. You can put the sauce on, like just on a toast, with a tortilla. You can have it with almost any kind of meal. It will last very long because it's very oily. You can just put it in a jar and it will last for weeks, maybe months. A lot of people sell this in Mexico as like some extra cash. And just try it. It's really good. I really like it. It might be a bit spicy. It depends on the kind of chilies you use. These chilies were not the spiciest, so they're still quite mild. You can have a lot of it. but it's a sauce that most people will just have a bit to add some extra flavor, because it can be really spicy, but I really like it. Hope you like it too. Try it at home. Write any questions or comments below. Press like, subscribe, all that, and see you in the next one.